Good afternoon. This is the Agent for Change Network, sponsored by 906 Multimedia Group. My name is Rob Bell, and I'm your host. And we are here today to talk about some of the social ills that are occurring in the black community. The Agent for Change group was started about 90 days ago by myself and Scott Bell, with an emphasis placed on giving folk an opportunity to come up with some solutions as to how we can help some of the negative things that are occurring in our community. We hope that people will chime in, give us some thought and ideas as to what they would like to see change, and hopefully we can move to the next step and try to institute some of these strategies and ideas to help make change. I do know and I feel that change is not going to come from any outside sources. We're going to have to make change within our community ourselves. Nobody is going to come into our communities on a giant great white horse and help us get out of these situations. The situations that have been existing, especially the social ills in our community, have been happening for decades, dating back to the 50s and the 60s. And we are now in 2021, and it seems as if some of the same social ills that we dealt with back in those days, back during the civil rights movement, are still some of the same issues that we are dealing with today. And so, who's going to change? We have to change. We have to come in and say, okay, enough is enough. What are we going to do as a group and as a people to make some effective change in our community? We certainly have the financial power. We certainly have the wherewithal to be able to do it. All we got to do is get a group of people and get up off of our behinds and start to make things happen. As long as we sit back and expect the government to come in and try to help us make change, it's just not going to happen. It's crazy. The biggest issue of what's happening in our communities today is this issue of crime. Crime is rampant all over the country, in every major city in the United States. I now live here in Atlanta. I'm from Philadelphia, PA. I was born and raised there, and crime had always and has always been an issue in Philadelphia. But as we look at the media and peruse our news outlets, crime is an issue in every major city in the United States. Here down in Atlanta, Georgia, down in Miami, Florida, Houston, Texas, New York City, Los Angeles, California, Dallas, Texas. The beat goes on. Chicago, the beat goes on. And every one of these cities are experiencing a rapid increase in homicides. And we have a newly elected president and a newly elected vice president, and it seems as if they have turned a blind eye to trying to help us get out of the situation. Oh, they are throwing us a bit of this and that to try to say that they're helping us. But when you look at the overall picture, what is the government and what is Washington actually doing to come into these major cities and help us get out of this situation of crime? What can they do? Can they police themselves out of this situation? No. Can they legislate themselves out of our situations? No. Can they become political and politicize what we need to get out of this situation? No. There's no to all three of those things. Number one, there are not enough police officers in every police department in this country to try to battle and fight crime in the major cities. In fact, police departments across the country are having a problem recruiting police officers, especially in the black community, because police officers are villains. People in the black community do not like the police, and it's been that way forever. Historically, police in black communities have been involved in police brutality. They have been involved in corruption, and they have been involved in just not treating people in the black community with any dignity and respect. Of late, because of the cell phone and the advent of video, police officers have been caught in various types of police brutality situations to the degree to where they're killing black men. We've said that all along in our communities, but the videotapes have brought everything to light. And now people are beginning to somewhat pay attention to what's been happening. There have been several riots. There have been a police officer just recently, Derek Chauvin, has been convicted of killing a black man and has been sentenced to 22 and a half years in jail in Minnesota. And so it is our hope that this will teach some of the other police officers that are out there conducting themselves in a negative manner that if you get involved in killing people, especially black men, there's a strong possibility that you may go to jail and get convicted for your negative actions. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Nevertheless, there are not enough police officers on any given police department to try to help solve some of this crime. Again, nobody wants to be a cop. Cop used to be a noble position. When I became a police officer in the early 80s, it was noble. These days, nobody could give a crap about wanting to be a police. Nobody wants to do that job. Secondly, they think gun control is going to solve the crime in the black community. That's a big joke, because most of the guns that these young people are getting, they're not getting legally. They're getting in the black market. You can talk to any young person right now, and they can tell you that they can go buy a gun for $25 anywhere in the community. $25. I've worked in several youth programs in my tenure and in my career, and I used to ask young people all the time, where can I get a gun? And they would tell me, oh, I can go get a gun for you today, Mr. Bill. I can go get a gun for you in the next couple of hours. And so getting a gun for a young person in our community is a no-brainer. So I don't care what kind of legislation you pass. It may help from another perspective in terms of dealing with maybe some of these mass shootings and making sure that people that have mental health issues don't get an opportunity to get themselves a gun. But in terms of these young guys that are carrying these guns in our community, not going to make a difference. From a political standpoint, you can window dress bringing programs and saying that the government is going to funnel money into different areas of the city all you want. Because usually what happens is the monies that the government give to neighborhoods and programs and cities never really even make it down to the black community, because the agencies that the government gives these monies to are too busy sticking the money in their pockets. They make sure that their people get paid. They make sure that their executive directors and counselors and program managers are reaping the benefits of that money coming down. And so when it's all said and done, where the money should be going, and that's to enact programs and develop programs to help squash some of these issues in the black community, it never happens. It never happens. And so it's a joke. And that's been happening like that for decades. So, we are in a quagmire as far as I'm concerned, because the reality is nobody really cares about the black community. Oh, we say we do. Oh, we are into this kumbaya, let's attack racial injustice, Black Lives Matter. Let's look at the inequity of how members of the black community have been treated over the last several years. And so now that we have a new president who has some innovative ideas, we also have a black vice president, a female black vice president. Now that we have these people in place, let's make sure that we change the culture. No, it's not happening. Since President Biden and Vice President Harris has been in the office, in my opinion, there has been no serious effort to try to make any serious change or try to help any of these communities with helping to ease the crime in these respective cities in the United States. They are caught up in other things. They are caught up in foreign affairs. They are caught up in infrastructure issues. They are caught up in pandemic. They are caught up in vaccinations. They are caught up in so many other things that when it comes to the issues of what we're dealing with in our communities, we are always last on the totem pole. And nobody really cares about it. You let any other ethnic group in this country have to go through any type of issue, the government is fast to jump on that and to give them all the aid and what they need in order for them to feel good about being quote unquote American citizens. We have been American citizens in this country forever. And anytime anything happens to us, nobody's quick to jump on our side and give us aid for anything. It is disheartening. And people once again have been ballyhooed and the wool has been pulled over their eyes because they were so caught up on trying to get Mr. Trump out of office. They did everything in their power to rush to the voting booth to get Mr. Biden into office with hopes of us changing the culture. I don't see it changing so far. We'll see what happens. He still has a long way to go. In fact, when President Obama was in office for the last 8 years, the culture didn't change either. And he had 8 years to try to make the culture change. And in my opinion, there was no change. It was business as usual. So my question to you is, agents, what can we do as a community, as a people, to try to come up with some solutions to help solve some of our issues ourselves? Again, we can't wait for anybody else to come from outside the community and help us. We have to do this ourselves. There are some comment boxes at the bottom of this video. I would love to hear your comments. If you care to want to do a short video and talk about what you think your solution is, please do so. I will put that link on our Agents for Change page. I'll put your comments on our Agents for Change page. And let's, try to come up with what we think are some of the things that we can help resolve some of this problem. In my estimation, our biggest issue right now is crime. Let's not sweep that under the rug. We have so many other issues that need to be addressed, certainly. But right now, crime is one of the biggest issues because we have kids, 9, 10, 12, 15-year-olds being killed in the street. It's to a point to where people are afraid to come out their homes. People don't want to even go to work. People are getting shot on buses. People are getting shot even in their house. Bullets are coming through the walls of people's homes. That's how ridiculous it's getting. And so when we have to try to live in lawless communities like that, damn it, we got to do something about that. And I don't care what people say in terms of, oh, it's our fault. We are the ones that are perpetrating these crimes. We should suffer because we don't know how to act. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Yeah, there's a small faction of people out there who don't care. But I have to believe there are a greater faction of people out here who do care. But they're afraid. They have nobody kind of pumping their brains and pushing them in a direction to do what they have to do. There's no leadership in our community. We need leadership. And the Agents for Change group, in my opinion, is acting as leaders, as young leaders who want to make effective change. And so send me your solutions. Give me your comments. Send me your videotapes because I'm going to constantly put out these messages and send them out on all of our social media platforms and give people an opportunity to respond back to me. Oh, when you look at some of the social media and we see young ladies half naked, we respond to that. When we see athletes going through the paces and dunking basketballs and shooting three-pointers, oh, we respond to that. When we see violence that are occurring on social media and some of the social media platforms, oh, we think that's funny. We videotape that and we get 10,000 likes. You know, we take people and make them go viral with that. But when I come on and try to educate people and try to move people to try to come up with some solutions to do the right thing, I guarantee you I will get a peep and a fraction of what people want to do. Because why? This ain't funny. This ain't entertaining. This ain't cool enough for people to respond to. Because that's how we are as black people in our community. You know, we trendy. If it's not trendy, we don't want to follow it. If it's not cool, we don't want to follow it. If it's not funny, then we don't want to follow it. If it's serious, oh, we ain't got time for that. You know, if it's going to make some effective change in our life, oh, we don't have time for that. You know, we just want to be stepping fetchits, and we want to sit back and just, you know, accept things for what it is. Oh, I live in the hood. People get killed, yeah, but you know what? That's a part of living in the hood. That's just how it's been forever, and you know, you just have to accept that. You know, that's our attitude, and it's been that attitude that has given us what we got today. Come on, people. At some point, that has to change. My name is Rob Bell, and I am the president of 906 and publisher of K9 Books, and I am the host for Agents for Change. I'll see you next time, and hopefully we can come up with some solutions as to how we can squash some of this madness with regards to violence.